What we face is an academic, corporate, information, legislative, media, military complex. All of those elements have always been there, and they work out very differently across there. Now, you could write a book about each of them, and many people have. What I'm going to do is just give you a few examples of each, or one example, or one or two examples of each of them. Let's start with a recent example of the academic links in Australia. About a decade ago, 4 professors at the University of Queensland got $1.5 billion from the Australian and Queensland governments to come up with a commercially valuable quantum computer. In 2025, Nick Warner, the ex-director of the Australian Signals Information Directorate, ASIS, joined the board. They got $1.5 billion then from Lockheed Martin to engage in aerospace and warfare research. So what was commercially profitable 10 years before becomes commercially profitable once it's linked into Lockheed Martin. There are endless examples, of course, of that link between academe and the warfare industry. Now, the corporate sector. Now, we all think in terms of the armaments industry, in terms of making things, making guns and bullets and bombs. But there's another element to it that is fundamental, and that's finance. You can go back as far as you like. The Rothschilds, in fact, became the bank they are by helping to finance the British war effort against the French and Napoleon. They moved from being textile traders into being the great international financial system that we know. Now, I want to give you a couple of other examples, though. In 1942, the Americans, at war, of course, set up something called the Applied Physics Laboratory to develop physical guns, improve their whole kind of ways of being able to wage war. 60 years later, in the early 2000s, they shift their emphasis to looking at capital markets in case anybody would want to use them to make an attack on the value of the US dollar dominating the world economy. And indeed, in 2009, they conduct the first financial war games, using currency and capital markets instead of ships and aircraft.